nights, that's not an option at my house. I don't care how grown my daughter is. She's not getting ready to be laying up in my house with no man. Baby daddy, boyfriend, husband, none of that. Come on, what about just like one night? No.
Mom lets me stay the night or not. I'm not being a deadbeat. I can't do that one.
Oh my God.
It's very simple to say that. You know,
I mean, I'm just asking.
It's personal because I'm not gonna cry, don't cry. There. And I don't want to be like him. I would not be able to live if I do that. So like, I have one choice, but to take care of him.
I mean, listen, Anaya's mum is moving a bit mad still because I understand her not wanting to stay at the house. I get that. But at the same time, your daughter's due to have a child. And if he's not there to be a father around those early years, those late nights where your daughter has to wake up, you have to wake up, if you're going to wake up. To be fair, the mum did say that she was going to help her daughter out, to be fair. I don't know, because I understand it's a house, it's her rules. But I feel like the mum's going to make life easier for Daquan. I feel like he needs to go through the experience of, you know, those evenings when the baby's crying and one of you has to wake up. You know what I mean? Those evenings where you go for sleepless nights. So, yeah, I don't really know if I don't feel like I agree with the mum wanting to not allow him to stay when the baby comes. Oh yeah, but nonetheless though, Daquan, obviously, as you heard there, he wants to make sure that he's going to be there for the child and he's going to make sure that he's going to be the best father possible. And clearly, obviously, the reasons behind that is because his father wasn't in his life, and because his father wasn't in his life, he doesn't want to make the same mistake or have the same attitude his father had towards him. So therefore, he's there to step up and be there for the child, which is good. I really hope he sticks to his words, but at the same time, I hope Anaya's mum doesn't make it too hard for him to be there. You know what I mean? Because the mum's moving a bit too mad, if you ask me personally. But we continue.
To make sure we are financially okay. I've already had a preeclampsia scare.
Oh yes, obviously Anaya obviously says, listen, I don't really expect too much from Daquan as long as we're financially good. I'm happy. I get it. All right, cool. Let's get into this bit here.
Already had a preeclampsia scare. It's really important that I go to the hospital to make sure that everything is okay.
Dramatic.
So let's just remember that the mum says she's being dramatic. Now following Anaya saying this, she also said that obviously this is something that can also cause death as well. And this is what the mum then said, you're being dramatic. So obviously Anaya right now wants to go to the hospital because she's not feeling too good. But the mum is not being supportive about taking her to the hospital because the mum does not want to waste a trip over nothing. Let's remember that.
You might think I'm being dramatic, but I'm not. Being that I was 38 weeks already and I had a preeclampsia scare about 2 weeks ago, they just decided that they were going to keep me and induce me. I'm still 17, so I called my mom because I didn't know if they could keep me without her permission.
So she made it to the hospital, you know, and Daquan was there to be with her too. And look what happened. It was something. It wasn't just nothing. It was something because, well, have a listen.
Yeah, there's no benefit in keeping me inside.
So Anaya had to end up pretty much ringing her mum when she was in hospital, saying, listen, they're telling me that I need to have an induction. For people that, I'm pretty sure all you ladies know what it is. So here's the thing, she ends up having to ring her mum because, you see, she doesn't want to make the choice by herself because she says, listen, I'm young and it'd have been cool if my mum had been here to help me out in this situation. So therefore she said to ring her mum, and the mum has now spoke to the nurse. So it looks like there's a potential chance that Naya may be delivering the baby early, but the mum, in my opinion, I'm just not really, I'm confused why her attitude has changed or why her attitude is being the way it is this week. I feel like she's been extremely harsh towards Naya. I don't know what Naya's maybe done to her, but to not want to support your daughter is weird to me. And I'm not saying she doesn't want to support her at all, but if your daughter's telling you that, hey, I'm in pain, something's not right, she should be like, okay, babe, I'll take you to the hospital. But the fact that she was like, no, and then Naya had to make her own way there, damn, that's crazy.
But with us, I'm not really sure if that's going to happen.
Well, let me know your thoughts, your opinions on the matter. Do you think Anaya's mum was right to have an attitude? I'm going to call it attitude because I felt like maybe there's certain things in the filming that was maybe taken out, and maybe that's why I'm struggling to understand why the mum is having this attitude with her daughter. You know what I mean? But she just came out of nowhere. She came from being very supportive to to being less supportive. Huh. Nonetheless, though, I really hope that Daquan will stick to his words for obviously being there for his child and being the best that he can be, despite the restrictions that he's going to overcome with the fact that Anaya's mother is now moving a bit booky. Let me translate that. When I say booky, that's UK slang. She's moving a bit strange. She's moving a bit unexpected. Yeah, let's say that. But with that being said, though, let's move on to the next couple.
Graham and his mom were supposed to come and help, but they bailed because apparently Becky was sick. Hey, are y'all coming to help with the baby shower?
I feel that it's fair that I'm always the one that gets to be the punching bag whenever she's upset or hurt by things that I have no control over. Trying not to break anything. If I'm being honest, I'm a little annoyed too right now. There's still a lot to do for the baby shower, and it would have been nice to have the extra help.
So here's the thing. The first time I met Graham, I said, listen, I don't know if this guy's been pulling his weight. The second time we saw him on stream, I was like, you know what? Maybe he does come across genuine. Now I believe it's the third time that I've seen Graham, and I can understand the frustrations, because at first I was more critical towards KAYLEIGH than I was to him. Actually, no, that's a lie. No, at first I was critical to both of them just as much. But last week I was more critical towards her than I was to him, or whichever week it was. But here's the thing, though. The more I'm looking at this whole situation, the more I'm understanding now why KAYLEIGH has all these comments when it comes to Graham's attitude and obviously his mum's attitude. Because Graham and his mum have not been there so far to help with planning for a baby shower, amongst also even being for ultrasound, among other things too. And these are the things that KAYLEIGH's having to do with her mum, which technically speaking is KAYLEIGH doing it alone, because when the baby comes, she's going to be a single parent by the sounds of it, right? Even though we know that the mum's going to be there, of course. Let's not get it twisted, right? But if I was in their position, I would definitely be feeling the way they are both feeling, thinking, hold on a minute, each time we try and do something for the benefit of all of us, why is there always an issue? So I understand why, more and more now, why KAYLEIGH is always speaking the way she's speaking regarding Graham and his mum, and also why her mum is also feeling the way she's feeling too.
What the reason was behind that? I mean, the reason that she said that she couldn't drive?
I think Graham was just trying to make an excuse because his mom didn't want to come.
What kind of is that? Whenever I've been traveling all this time for...
See Graham's mom coming to bring him anywhere, for him being able to get someone to take him. It scares me because I don't really know how he can be a good father if he's not there for you.
She's not lying though. How is he going to be able to be a good father if he's never going to be able to be there? Because you see, so far it's been KAYLEIGH's mum that's had to go pick him up, bring him to the house, then drop him back, because you see his mum isn't really helping him. Okay, now there's a reason for it, which is something that we will get into, and when we get there, we get there. But I can't imagine what it's like to be in a position where you're pregnant and your mum's having to pretty much chauffeur yourself as well as your man. And if your mum isn't chauffeuring your man, well then he doesn't attend, because he then has all these reasons, or in KAYLEIGH's words, all these excuses of why he's not turning up for this, and that. And that's why obviously she's going to get to a point of feeling as if, well, when the baby comes, I'm pretty much going to be doing this all by myself. But to be honest with you, away from this whole context stuff in general, I always say, generally speaking, the moment a woman gets pregnant and she obviously wants to have the child, that's the moment that she should prepare to be a single parent. Not because the man is going to leave, but generally speaking, when it comes to those first early years, obviously the man usually is out working, do you know what I mean? While you're at home doing your thing, being the best parent you can be possible. You see what I'm saying? Because obviously you're doing most of it by yourself, while obviously he's out doing whatever he's got to do to bring the money home. And then of course, if he's not there in general, then you know what I mean? But I understand though, because they're both young, obviously there's going to be a different type of perspective of seeing KAYLEIGH's mind, you know what I mean? But let's get into it.
Ways to be a part of things that he wants to be a part of, but when it comes to being a part of KAYLEIGH and Easton's life, Graham and his mom need to step up and do the same. So has she said anything about when it comes time for delivery?
Yeah, she said that she wanted to be in the room.
Of course, KAYLEIgh's mom's going to be annoyed about that. Because why? She hasn't done anything. Why? She hasn't earned it. How dare she? But hey.
Let's just have to see if she shows up tomorrow.
And it's going to sound terrible. I just feel like, how can somebody for 3 straight years always be sick, you know, and not be able to drive and not be able to participate? And just last night, Becky was just too sick to come to help set up for the baby shower. And now here we are, the day.
Yep, and now Graham and his mom have turned up to the baby shower. I mean, listen, the positive thing is that they've turned up. The negative thing is that they've done nothing to help, which is yeah, obviously unfair, extremely unfair.
Yeah, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to hang out with everybody.
Guilty because I didn't get to help with the baby shower because I really was looking forward to it. And I'm sick with my bipolar. And being bipolar, you have good days and you have bad days.
So first, when the mom spoke about, having bipolar, I was like, okay, I get it. I understand it. All right. Okay. But why hasn't this been communicated? Because you see, KAYLEIGH says each time she speaks to Graham's excuse is always the same. I'm not well or my mom's not well. Every single time, back and forth. So why not just say, hey, my mom's got bipolar today and she's acting up, so I can't make it. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, the more you hear it, the more it would still feel like an excuse regardless. But why is it not being vocalized though? You see what I'm saying?
It's hard having a parent with bipolar because sometimes when she's down, my mom can't take me places. Like yesterday, since she was sick, she just kept getting anxiety and stressing out.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I don't know if being bipolar should be a good enough reason to why your son is not able to find a way to see his girl and the woman that's carrying, obviously their baby. You see what I'm saying? And there's no way you can allow obviously I don't have bipolar. I don't really know people who've bipolar, so obviously I don't know the ins and outs of it, so I don't want to say anything that's going to be offensive per se or anything that's incorrect. But one thing that I do know that in his life is that even when we have something going on with ourselves, it's something that goes on and off in different time periods, right? And it feels so much of a coincidence that each time KAYLEIGH and her mom wants help from Gray and his mom, there's always an issue. So it makes you wonder, are you just using that card because you can? But in reality, it's in some of these situations, you just use it as an excuse. That is the question, isn't it? Because if it's every time, that's crazy. And like KAYLEIGH's mom said, or KAYLEIGH said, it just feels like when it fits Graham, he's able to make it. Well, now I know where Graham's attitude comes from. And when I say, how he just looks like he's just like, yeah, his mom's giving him that. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to the last couple.
Oh my goodness.
This is a lot.
It's not.
Not that much. I would love to be one of our kids.
It's crazy though, because right now, Lawrence is like, yo, this is a lot. KAYLEIGH's like, no, it's not. And he's like, listen, I would love to be one of our kids. I relate to Lawrence in this conversation here, I didn't grow up with this amount of presents. But obviously with KAYLEIGH now, she did at some point. And that does show the differences. And to be fair, I remember when I was with my ex, every Christmas we'd go to her parents' house and boy, there was tons and tons of freaking gifts for all the little grandkids. Well, the parents' grandkids. Her parents' grandkids. Not mine, you know what I'm saying? But her sisters had kids, basically. Just what I'm saying, okay? Not me. Or not us, should I say. But, yeah. It is crazy, the reason when you meet someone who doesn't come from the same, background that you did. Anyway, I just wanted to point out that sometimes these things can be overwhelming for other people. But let's continue.
Up pretty poor. I didn't have much, at all. My mom and my dad separated when I was 5. She met Glenn. I never missed out on anything. And so if I'm able to give my kids a beautiful life with everything they could ever want.
If the kids don't know that they're loved, we have bigger problems.
So here's the thing. Obviously, Lily explains that, once her mum met her stepdaddy, Glenn, things got better. And that's when, obviously, she was able to be given everything that she would like, I'd imagine so. Which is obviously something that she wants to do for her kids. Respectfully, that makes a lot of sense, 1000%. But boy, when the money's coming out of one paycheck, that is crazy. I don't know what Lawrence be doing to be making money, but he seems to be making a lot of money, man, because he's having to pay for 2 kids. One kid that is actually his, and one that isn't his. Because I don't know if the father of Aaliyah is even in the picture. To be honest with you, I don't know if that's ever been mentioned in a previous season per se. I don't remember him being mentioned last season, to be honest with you. But either way, though, he's having to obviously work, provide all these things, and then also have money for all these gifts. Unless, of course, they get income from elsewhere. And when I say elsewhere, I'm not talking about the show because TLC don't pay you that much. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. So maybe they're getting it from family members. I don't know. But boy. This guy here is working hard, clearly. I know he recently had a fight that he won. He obviously would have got paid from that as well. But it wasn't nothing, UFC standard, so yeah. But nonetheless, though, let's talk about what he last said, though. If the kids, let me replay it because I said a lot of things. Hold on a minute.
everything they could ever
And
want.
if the kids don't know that they're loved, we have bigger problems. But right now is definitely not the time. We need to save $20K for the wedding. And if the kids don't know that they're loved, we have bigger problems.
So here's the thing, 20K for the wedding, which is nuts. But what does he mean though? When he says if the kids don't feel loved, then we got bigger problems. So are they saying that basically spending money are they saying that the kids only feel loved when they buy them gifts? Because that's not a good thing. Because that clearly means that Lily's doing way too much. And I say Lily because she's the one that's always buying things. And of course, she is pretty much the full-time mother at home, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, he's at work, and even when he's at home, he's just chilling while she still continues being a full-time mommy. But that's not good. That's not good. And that kind of represents why, I don't know what week it was, but there's a week when Lily's mum came in and Lily was just bouncing off the walls and all that kind of stuff. And the mum was trying to advise her, but she wasn't really listening to it. But the point being is the kids do have shown signs of behaving in ways where they're not always willing to listen to mummy. And I do wonder if one of her mechanisms to keep the kids quiet or whatever is just give them things. Because if that's what she does, is just gives them things, those kids will never know how to appreciate gifts. Not for a very, very long time. Do you see what I'm saying? And also, most importantly, they're never really going to respect Lily properly. Because as a parent, really and truly, if you tell your kid to stop something, your kid should respect enough to stop it. But if they're still doing it, that's a problem. But nonetheless, though, let's continue.
The wedding is in 3 months. Yeah, 3 months from now.
Oh, we got that much time to plan. Sounds stressful.
Are you sure you want to get married right now?
Mm-hmm. But I'm not you, and Lawrence is intact.
But you had a baby young like me, and so many things
But
are
I feel like my
strangely
cards
similar.
have already played out differently than yours by now.
Well, 3 months to get married. And she's admitted that, yes, this is a rush. Why? Because she doesn't want to wait until next year, because the venue that they've picked is booked up. And waiting until next year just isn't the one. Now, her mum does say to her, rushing a wedding is never a good thing. And in my opinion, I agree with the mum. I mean, I've never been married, you know what I mean? Probably never will be. But rushing one is definitely not the way, you know? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If you need to rush something that is involving your relationship, you shouldn't rush it, just what I'm saying. But I understand obviously the mum's point of view, because the mum is just all against weddings because of how much they cost to get married and also how much it costs to even get divorced. Hence why Lily's mother and her daddy is still married to this day, even though they're not together anymore, you know what I mean? Which sucks for Glenn, because Glenn will never get a chance to actually marry Lily's mum, but I guess he's made amends with it, do you know what I mean? But nonetheless though, does Lily have a point when she says, well, mum, me now compared to you when you was in my situation, it's two different things. When you got married and you had me young or whatever, that was different, because the way my life has gone has been planned out in a whole different format. I would say Lily's got a point, because of course she's with someone that's actively there for her child. You know what I mean? For their child and also her other child. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it has been met up differently. I think I said this last week or whichever week it was. I do feel like the relationship between Lawrence and Lily is quite strong, and I do feel like, you know, them to really make it work is always going to be, it should be a-okay. But I will say that if Lily is trying to push the wedding a bit too much, and let's say Lawrence isn't fully on board, then she shouldn't push it. But right now, it seems as if they're both fully on board of getting married, just not on board of how much money it would cost. But nonetheless, though, I really want to know how much money this guy is making, because goddamn, he's paying for kids, he's paying for bills. I gotta save 20K for this. Gifts for Christmas. What the hell, man? Listen, what's your hustle, bro? Let me know. Because goddamn, each time I see these two, all I ever hear is money, 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 money. Which also goes back to my other point. If money, money, money is always a thing in Lily's mind, no wonder why those kids are freaking hyperactive, and why those kids may feel unloved if they're not given things, because that's what the standard has been. Because that's what the standard has been set by Lily potentially. Nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.